Hi, it's Trevor Emden. My website is wizardofwisdom.com. And I just wanted to spend a few minutes talking to you about worry and anxiety because it's the most useless activity human beings ever engage in. I have never heard of anybody solving a problem by worrying about it. The question I get asked as an NLP life coach, success coach, law of attraction coach most often is, well, what else can I do? What's the alternative? So I'd like to tell you, because there really is an antidote, and it's so simple to do. Okay, so let me just tell you quickly about a real life example that happened to me in my life back in 2008, which was the year you probably remember when the world's banks pretty much collapsed all over the place. And one of the knock-on effects was that an industry, which was the healthcare industry, that I'd relied on for a large chunk of my income on an ad hoc basis for the best part of a decade, that work dried up. And my wife and I started to worry. We started to have the conversation that goes, or begins with, what shall we do? And ends with, I don't know, because there was nothing we could do, right? So it was just really expressing to each other, I'm starting to worry. And the other one going, yeah, me too. That's really what that conversation boiled down to. And there was nothing we could do because we couldn't make the phone ring. This went on for a few weeks. And then one day, over breakfast in our kitchen, with the radio playing in the background, the penny dropped in my very slow brain. And I remembered all my training. And so the conversation started again. My wife, I think, said to me, honey, what are we going to do? There's not been any work for 3 weeks or something. And I began the shrug, and then I went, hang on a minute. There's a different way to do this. And I said, you know what, honey, we're asking the wrong question. She said, what do you mean we're asking the wrong question? How can that be the wrong question? And I said, we're starting in the wrong place. Because what shall we do is coming from a place of fear and anxiety and worry. And it will eventually, when the money is really low or has run out completely, turn to panic. And that's not going to help us. We're not going to solve the problem in that state of mind. Now, really get this. I'm giving you a big clue here. It's your state of mind that makes the difference, right? So here's what happened. She said, okay, what should we be asking then? And I said, let's start with, how shall we be? And she said, okay, how should we be then? I said, well, I don't know. Let's be resourceful and playful. Now, this involves changing your physiology, change your body language. And I explained that to her. You've got to feel differently. You can't sit like this and, I don't know what to do, and feel good. You can't do that, okay? You have to change your body language. So there was something bright and beaty playing on the radio. So I said, come on. And we stood up and we danced around the kitchen just for a minute or so, feeling silly and having a giggle and being playful. And resourceful, I said, but I just tried to remember times when I'd had ideas. But it was the playfulness, I think, that did it. Now, it might be a different state for you, but what's worth trying is change your physiology. So then I sat down again on my breakfast stool, or we both did, and immediately I had a different thought. For 3 weeks I had not had this thought because my state of mind and my state of physiology had been tense, fear, worry, right, about this issue. And then when I sat down on that stool, the first thing I said was, I said, we don't need the phone to ring. We don't need that work. She said, what do you mean? I said, we don't need that. We just need an income. It could come from anywhere. So she said, okay, well, what else could we do that would bring in money? And I said, well, I don't know. Let's think. Let's be resourceful. What else have either of us ever done that's earned money? And we talked about that for maybe 2 minutes, if that. And amongst the things that I've done, apart from my job, that had earned me money in my life was one was playing the guitar in public, in bars and places. I'd done that in the past, but that required quite a lot of setting up, rehearsals, finding gigs, some amplification equipment, which I no longer have, and so on. And the other is writing. And I'd been published in magazines, national magazines, in the 1980s and 1990s, and paid for it. It wasn't my job, but I wrote for magazines and they accepted and I'd done it several times. So I knew I could write. So I said to my wife, I could write. Let's see if I can get paid for writing. And we have the internet now. So I went to the computer. I signed up with a freelance website agency. It cost me $9, I think, about £5 or £6 in English. I typed in a little resume of my writing history and my knowledge, my top topics, and forgot about it. And the next morning, I was offered a contract for $1,000 to write for someone on the topics that are my favorites. I was offered it. It wasn't like, we're considering you. It was like, I want you to do it. Now, I can't guarantee a result like that, but I can guarantee more peace of mind if you learn to manage your worry and anxiety. It's absolutely useless. Don't do it. When you catch yourself doing it, change your state, change your physiology, change the way you're being, and everything will fall into place. Hope that's helpful. Trevor Emden, come and see me at wizardofwisdom.com. Bye.